All right, my favorite pick in round one, probably going to be Bijan. I love a lot of players in this territory, but from best ball to non-best ball, Bijan's going 4, 5, 6. Sometimes people will get ballsy and take him 2 or 1, like me. But I think he's by far and away the best value when you get him in the middle of round one, and he could be number 1 overall. He could be the number 1 running back. He could lead the league in total touchdowns and total yards. He could be this year's version of Christian McCaffrey, something we predicted out of Bijan last year, and I take ownership on that. I take a lap. I think everybody knows Arthur Smith was the problem. Bijan's going to be fed. And one Tyler Algier might be involved comment is making people even doubt him a little bit more than they should. Bijan is going to crush. He's my running back 1 overall end of season. 1,400 rushing, 500 receiving, 15 total touchdowns. Do it live. Gibbs would be considered in round 1 as well. Breece Hall, obviously, as well. But I'm going to say that Gibbs is in this conversation of round 2 because he's been falling to the 11, 12, 13, 14 quite a bit. So we definitely consider Gibbs here. I'm going to consider Achane, no doubt about it. He also is a conversation. I'll mention him in round 3, but he does fall to like 3.1 in non-best ball. And in best ball, he goes heavily in round 2. I'm going to land with Kiron as my second drafted player, my favorite round 2 pick, because he could lead the league in rushing touchdowns. He could lead the league in rushing yards. Kiron Williams was a top 10 running back 60% of his games. He was a top 5 running back 50% of his games. He scored 12 rushing touchdowns in 12 games, 15 total touchdowns in 12 games. He walks into 2024 with the best run blocking offensive line in the National Football League. If my life was on the line and I needed 100 yards and a touchdown, no matter what the matchup was, it's Kiron Williams. Nobody was as good as Christian McCaffrey per start except for Kiron Williams last year. Blake Corum is a backup, a must handcuff backup, but a backup. Kiron is an absolute superstar, and quite honestly, don't tell anybody I said this, he deserves to go in the top 5 overall, but I'll continue to steal him in round 2. Thank you very much. Round 3, I'm gonna say my favorite pick by far and away. There's no equivocation, no stutter in my voice, nothing, and nothing's gonna stop me from drafting in round number 3, Patrick Mahomes, who crushes everyone this year in round 3. I like all 3 of the big quarterbacks, but if I'm going to roll with somebody, I'm going to say Mahomes because he falls to 3 more often than Josh Allen. Hurts goes in 4, so I'm not going to mention Hurts. I'm going to maybe mention Hurts in round 4. No spoilers, but Mahomes is going to throw for 40 to 45 touchdowns, run for another 5. He's scoring 50 touchdowns in 2024. I love Tank Dell in round 4. That's probably my favorite pick, but I mean, I have to sit here and contemplate whether I put Jalen Hurts right here as well, because Jalen Hurts and Dell together are win a league capable. This is round 4 best ball, round 4 non-best ball. Hurts falls into 4 in both cases. Because I already got a quarterback on the board here, I'm going to roll with Tank Dell, who I'm the founder of Tank Dell. No one was high. I'm saying no one because I mean no one was higher on Tank Dell than I was last year. And I think we get to say Tank Dell is winning leagues again this year, just like we did last year. Oh, crowded room. Watch Tank Dell do his thing. He doesn't care what you think about his crowded room. He has the rapport with Stroud that no one else has. He's been shot at. They can't contain him. He's out there doing Tank Dell things. I'm thankful. You should be thankful. Now go draft Tank Dell and go smash. Man, round number 5. I mean, I love McBride here. I love going with little Dalton Kincaid action. Anthony Richardson, Xavier Worthy. I'm going to go AR5. And I know that some people are going to say, Smitty, the quarterback position is so deep. Why would you go QB? Because it doesn't matter. Every position is deep. I've been doing this 23 years professionally, and I can tell you right now, I've never seen the quarterback position, running back, wide receiver, and tight end position all at the same time be loaded to the rafters. And when you get a chance to get a Hurts in 4, a Mahomes in 3, an AR5 in 5 or 6, preferably 6 if you can, you're crushing everybody if these guys score 40 plus touchdowns. And AR5 is like having a running back, and I don't think people understand how good of a passer he's going to be. He wins leagues in round number 5. My favorite round number 6 player is a man named Kiron Coleman that I think is going to take the NFL by storm by several ways. 1, talent. 2, he's got a quarterback that is The best quarterback maybe in the entire National Football League, if not tied for top 3, Mahomes, Hurts, and Josh Allen. He's entering a situation where he has the most vacated targets, second most vacated target situation in the NFL in 2024. His QB was QB 1, 2, 1, 1, 6 in back-to-back years. He's got a top 10 offensive line. Josh Allen's a top 6 QB 10 times last year. And the vacated targets for my boy Kiron Coleman are pretty damn nice when you look at it. 58% vacated targets, the second most in the NFL. Josh Allen texted him the Friday before the draft and said, "I want you." And this is a match made in heaven. This man's going to the mother freaking moon. 80, 11, 20, and 10. I'll be disappointed if Coleman doesn't drop that. Now go win a league. I want to say to everybody right now, be a proactive manager. Don't wait until players start evolving and then you go trying to buy them. Don't look at Marvin Harrison Jr. right now as, he's getting overdrafted at 10, wide receiver 9, wide receiver 8, 9, 10. Then coming out of week 1, you're trying to buy him as the number 1 overall wide receiver. If they're players you really like right now, attack them before their values increase. Players that will increase in value: Kiron Coleman, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey Benson. He's practically free right now. Obviously, Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Kiron. Those are all guys that are very low in value. Who do you target? Low value guys, players that are being valued so low that their cost of entry is very low risk. So comb through ADP, kind of like I'm doing right now, and say to yourself, who at cost of entry has baked in value? Every name I just gave you had baked in value. Cooper Kupp in round 3 has baked in value because if he has 100 yards and a touchdown in week 1, you're going to want to buy him as a wide receiver 1. Devontae Smith is treated like a 4th round player in a lot of cases. Devontae Smith is going to explode in a new system that just made Keenan Allen a top 3 wide receiver in a system. A Kellen Moore system made CeeDee Lamb and others elite wide receivers. I think AJ Brown and Devontae Smith rotate in the slot, and the slot wide receiver for Kellen Moore is going to the moon. Always has, always will. Josh Jacobs, this Green Bay offense, especially with Jordan Love in the preseason already looking good, people are going to say, I don't know if they're going to use the running back. The running back is going to be ultra productive. You may hear a lot of things about running back by committee and timeshare, but I can assure you that Josh Jacobs is going to get about 65 to 70% of the work, and in that offense, that is more than enough. Bijan's going up in value. It might not seem possible to you right now, but he's being drafted at 5, 6, 7 overall. If he has 100 and a touch in week 1 or 150 total yards, everyone's going to want him as the number 1 running back. So buying low actually makes sense right now. I mentioned Gibbs, I mentioned Harrison. Drake London becomes more valuable. I know you might say he's a second rounder right now. He'll become first round capable. Deebo Samuel, now with Ayuk maybe going back to San Francisco, at least that's the vibe as of August 10 right now at freaking 2:11 p.m. West Coast time. Deebo, a little balloon deflating, if you will. People might be a little bit sour on the fact they thought they had Deebo alone in the wide receiver room. Now they don't. So you can guess, I think, like I can, that people might be a little down on him right now. I mentioned Achane, I mentioned Cooper Kupp, I mentioned Devontae Smith, Kiron. I love going after potential Tank Dell right now at 4th round value. He just caught a touchdown in the preseason game. His value might go up a little bit, but I think you could still get him pretty cheaply, because even in the videos where we pump up Tank Dell's touchdown that he just had in the preseason, shaked and baked, baby. 4 score already. I'm seeing 50% hate, 50% love. There are people that are so hell-bent against Tank Dell because they never saw him coming, and they're just doubling down, trying to throw more bad at the bad. And they just want to be right so bad. If he fails, then they don't feel so bad about themselves the year prior. Tank Dell can be had cheaper than he should be had right now. It's ridiculous. Pacheco in non-best ball gets ranked a lot higher than in best ball. So depends where you can find him. Hurts is going to go to the moon. People question the offense. Very, very much changed, but I'm not worried about the 95% change in offense. I'm thinking this guy's going to have 40 plus total touchdowns with ease in this Kellen Moore system. Mahomes, same thing. I think Mahomes scores 50 touchdowns. Go get him now. Go get him now. Mahomes at third round value, you win a league. Mahomes at fourth round value, it's over. But if you can trade for Mahomes before the season begins, you're crushing. He'll win you leagues. He's going to be on a mission to win 3 Super Bowls in a row and prove all these Kermit the Frog, Raiders getting puppets. What a dumb idea. He's going to prove all these people wrong, and it's going to start in week 1. His wide receiver room's never been better. McBride, buy him now. Kincaid, buy him now. AR5, buy him now. Green Bay wide receivers, buy him now. Wicks, Reed, Dobbs, Watson. Are we really buying that we won't have a top 12 wide receiver from this Green Bay wide receiver room? Because everyone's so confused about it, nobody wants to take a gamble, so everybody just lets all the wide receivers fall. Consume them all if you need to and cuff them to Jordan Love. Worthy, buy him now before his value goes up, even though his value's been going up steadily. CJ Stroud, I don't know why he's so lowly ranked. I think everybody wants a running quarterback, but CJ Stroud could do what Dak did, break into the running quarterback club, even though he doesn't run. Kamara, buy him low. Kamara's in the backfield by himself. Kendrick Miller might not even make the team. He can't stay healthy. Go get Alvin Kamara all over the place. JSN, love him. Ryan Grubbs, 3 wide receiver sets. Coleman, buy him low. James Conner with Benson, buy low. Buy Benson low. Jamison Williams stepping up. Jalen Warren to the moon. Jalen Warren. Zamir White to the moon. Chase Brown to the moon. Chase Brown! Get him now before it's too late. Cuff him to Zach Moss if you can. Buy all these guys before it is too late. Before it's too late.
Which side would you rather have?
Get out of here.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show.